Hi everyone, my name is Briar. Welcome to my video about how cuttlefish disappear and the science behind camouflage. Today I will be using a balloon as my model to demonstrate a fascinating biological trick in the ocean and the ability of how cuttlefish can change their color to different patterns and even textures to blend into their surroundings. To show this, I'm just using this balloon that I marked up with some spots. These spots represent chromatophores, which are pigment sacs beneath the cuttlefish's skin. When I inflate the balloon, the spots will expand just like chromatophores do when controlled by muscle contractions. When I deflate the balloon, the spots will shrink, mimicking how pigment sacs relax and it goes back to its original form, showing the pigment. As I blow up the balloon, notice how the spots grow larger and spread across the surface. This is just like what happens when a cuttlefish's brain sends signals to radial muscles around the chromatophores. These muscles contract, pulling the sacs open, and suddenly more pigment becomes visible on the skin. The cuttlefish can instantly flash new colors from browns and reds to yellows, depending on which chromatophores they do expand. And when the balloon deflates, the spots will shrink back down just like chromatophores relaxing when the muscles release. This lets other layers of the skin become visible, especially hydrophores. So beneath the chromatophores, the cuttlefish have a special reflective cell which is called hydrophores. While chromatophores show pigments in reds, browns, and yellows, hydrophores reflect like a mirror, producing a more metallic-y and shimmery color like golds and silvers. Unlike chromatophores, which act almost instantly, hydrophores respond at a slower pace, and they are possibly controlled by neural hormones rather than direct nerve signals. Together, these two layers give cuttlefish the ability to shift from flat earth tones to these metallic tones, shifting their colors just within seconds. But how do cuttlefish know which colors to display? This comes from their brain, which researchers have been studying. They've studied dwarf cuttlefish using MRI scanning to map 32 different brain lobes, including the chromatophore lobes that directly control their skin color and the optic lobes, which process vision. Their brain can send precise signals to millions of pigment sacs almost instantly, creating like a camouflage pattern for the fish. Here's the fascinating part though, is that cuttlefish are technically colorblind. They only have one type of color-sensitive protein in their eyes. They don't see color the way that us humans do. Instead, they rely on something called chromatic blur. With their W-shaped pupils, they bend light in such a way that they can detect how sharply different wavelengths come into focus. By reading these subtle changes in polarization cues, cuttlefish can sense enough about their environment to choose the perfect camouflage, even though they can't see like us humans. The combination of this fast-acting chromatophore and shimmering hydrophore allow cuttlefish to blend into coral reefs, sandy seafloors, or even copy different textures that they see in the ocean. Some even use their color-changing skin for communication or even during mating. So to sum up this demonstration, the balloon represented the skin of the cuttlefish. As it inflated, the spots expanded, just like the chromatophores controlled by muscle contractions. As it deflated, the pigments shrank, letting deeper reflective layers like hydrophores shine through. Thank you for watching how cuttlefish disappear and the science behind camouflage.